One of the tried and true methods for making mortises is to drill out most of the waste, then chisel away the rest to make the mortise's walls flat and the ends square. In this video, I'm going to show you how to complete the hand tool process to go from here to here. Now, there's nothing really tricky about drilling out a mortise, but before you head to the drill press, take some time to first lay out your mortise carefully with a fine lead pencil so it looks like this. Here I've marked the ends of my mortise, the side walls of my mortise, and the center line. And here's an important tip at this layout stage. The chiseling process will be a lot easier if you go over your pencil lines now with a marking gauge and a sharp knife to score these 4 mortise wall layout lines. You'll see why this is so helpful when we get to the chiseling stage. Now line up a brad point or Forstner bit with the mortise's center line and drill out the waste in a series of side-by-side passes from one end of the mortise to the other. And now we're ready to chisel the mortise. And the best way to do that is with 2 different styles of chisels. You'll need a wide bench chisel like this for cleaning up these long side walls. And I like to use a mortising chisel like this to square up the ends. If you're not familiar with mortising chisels, here's why they're helpful. Mortising chisels have much thicker blades than standard bench chisels. So both the blade and the cutting edge can stand up to a lot of pounding with a mallet. And the thickness of this blade, as well as its perfectly square back corners, also help it register and follow the mortise all the way down to the bottom. Mortising chisels are made in a range of widths, typically from an 1/8 inch to a 1/2 inch, so you can match the width of the chisel blade to the width of the mortise you're making. For both mortising and bench chisels, of course, it's important that their cutting edges are sharp, because a sharp edge will sever the wood fibers more cleanly, and it'll take a lot less effort to drive the chisels down into the mortise. And to sharpen mine, I'm using a Tormek T-4 Sharpener equipped with Tormek's coarse and fine diamond wheels. The helpful aspect of these diamond wheels is that you can sharpen the flat top bevel of mortising and bench chisels on the side of the wheel using the company's MB100 multi-base attachment. Side grinding like this isn't safe to do with ordinary aluminum oxide grinding wheels on a high-speed grinder because the wheel can shatter. But on these wheels, the diamonds are anchored with nickel to a steel core that runs perfectly true. There's no danger of fracturing or shattering the wheel. And Tormek's slow-speed, wet sharpening action keeps the tool steel cool, so there's no risk of the cutting edge losing its temper. Now that my chisels are sharp, I can go to work cleaning up this mortise, and I'm going to start by squaring up the ends with my mortising chisel. And here's why scoring those mortise layout lines with a marking gauge and a knife really comes in handy. I can register the back of my mortising chisel right in this knife line here. I don't have to do this by eye because you can feel when the edge drops into place. Now, hold the mortising chisel square to the face of the workpiece and drive it into the wood with 4 or 5 strong mallet blows. Then, lever the chisel forward into the mortise so it can break away the waste on the side walls to create the start of a square corner. Square up the other end of the mortise the same way. Now, switch to a wide bench chisel to pare away the waste on the long side walls of the mortise. Again, those knife lines give your chisel's edge a helpful starting point. If you've drilled away most of the waste already, you might be able to remove this waste with hand pressure on the chisel only, rocking the blade from side to side while pushing straight downward. Clean away the waste down to where the mortising chisel stopped. Now clear out the debris from the first round so you can repeat the chiseling process. Drive the mortising chisel down deeper into the ends on round 2, then clean and smooth the side walls as well with the bench chisel. 2 or 3 rounds of this chiseling will get you down to the bottom on all but the deepest mortises. Now check the ends of the mortise with a small square to make sure they aren't sloping inward at the bottom. Clean out any additional waste that might be down inside until the square sits flush against the mortise ends on the surface. When you're done, you'll have a nice clean mortise with flat side walls and square ends. Cleaning up drilled mortises is easy, with a couple of sharp tools and a little know-how. You can learn more about Tormek's T4 Sharpener and diamond stones, as well as Tormek's full line of sharpening products by visiting tormek.com, rockler.com, or a Rockler store near you. I'm Chris Marshall with Woodworkers Journal Magazine and Rockler, and thanks for watching.